Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the news. I am Saja Brito. The headlines: Barrow traveled to the North Bank and Central River region of the Gambia this past Thursday to assess road projects. The rapper, the activist and a businessman Killer Ace shares his journey with the Fatu Network. Our special guest on News Review today is APRC's deputy spokesperson, Mr. Dudu Jah. But first we'll take a look at the newspapers. The Standard newspaper is reporting that the TRRC search a forest for possible mass graves in Fonyi. A year after hearing and documenting harrowing tales of mass murders and secret burials, mainly in forests in the Fonyis, the Truth Commission conducted an investigation tour of the sites believed to be the locations for the mass graves. Led by Chairman Lamin Sise and including commissioners, council, investigators and representatives of victims, the tour party was guided by Malik Jata and Omar Oya Jallo, two members of the Junglers Hit Squad who had confessed to have witnessed or participated in dozens of killings and mass burials in wells and unmarked graves. The Gambia government has commenced a formal process it hopes will pave the way for resolving the dispute between the Supreme Islamic Council and Raudatul Majalis for leadership of Muslims in the country. Alhaji Dembo Bojang, the religious advisor to the president, disclosed this news to the Standard newspaper over the weekend. He was stated as saying, "We have started the process to broker peace between Supreme Islamic Council and Raudatul Majalis." A deputy leader of the former ruling party has blamed the current crime wave in the country on President Barrow's failure to heed outgoing President Yahya Jammeh's advice not to compromise the security of the country. APRC's Bori Koli told the Standard newspaper earlier this week when former President Jammeh was leaving this country, he advised this man, Barrow, to prioritize security because without security, he would not be able to develop the country. But unfortunately, he failed to heed Jammeh's advice, and that is why we are facing a security threat in the Gambia. Hundreds of Gambians took to the streets yesterday to protest against the recent attacks on Palestinians by the Israelis and called on the Gambia government to initiate a global campaign against Tel Aviv as it did against Yangon. The protesters bearing placards "Free Palestine" marched from Churchilltown to Talending Buffer Zone Park in Serekunda. CA says despite challenges, IEC can't fail in December 2021 polls. The Citizens Alliance Party has issued a strong warning to the Independent Electoral Commission that they must not under any circumstances fail to deliver free and credible polls in December. Addressing journalists at the party's fifth monthly press conference last Friday, CS National President Dominic Mendes said though the IEC had difficulties during the preparations for the December poll, that should not be a recipe for failure come December 2021. Meanwhile, Dabo says UDP government will not neglect Fonyi, a stronghold of the APRC. Usaino Dabo, leader of the United Democratic Party, has assured the people of Fonyi that a UDP government will have no reason to isolate them. Addressing a group of nearly 800 people from all the 5 constituencies of Fonyi who went to pledge their support to the UDP at the party's Manjai Bureau on Saturday, Dabo said a UDP government will treat all Gambians equally, irrespective of tribe or political affiliation. Sabali says Gambia's security situation creating genuine fear amongst the people. Former Secretary General Mamadou Sabali has expressed his disappointment over the country's current security situation. He said the security predicament is creating genuine concern for all Gambians. That will be it for the Standard newspaper. Let's take a look at the point. Maki decorates ICC prosecutor Bensouda with Commander in the Order of the Lion Award. Armed robbers reportedly attacked foreign bureau in Kololi. Let's take a look at those stories. Fatou Bensouda, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, was recently received by President Macky Sall of Senegal, who elevated her to the dignity of commander in the National Order of the Lion. The distinction is a recognition of the work done for victims. At the end of her mandate, Fatou Bensouda presented the head of state with her assessment of her work at the head of the International Judicial Institution. Armed robbers are reported to have attacked a foreign bureau in Kololi in the Kanifing municipality and went away with thousands of dollars, a source familiar with the matter disclosed to the Point newspaper. However, at the time of going to press the Point, couldn't establish the amount of money involved in the robbery. The incident was reported to have occurred in the early hours of a Saturday morning. The female employee who was at the bureau at the time of the incident, our source added, was tied up by the robbers. That will be it for the newspapers. We'll go for a break. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. And now President Adama Barrow on Thursday traveled to CRR and NBR to assess the ongoing road construction projects in the area. Our Fatu Kamara traveled with the president, and she now files in this report.
President Adama Barrow left State House on Thursday morning for Central River Region and North Bank Region to visit the various road construction sites, a project planted at the heart of his administration's effort in developing the Gambia. Along the journey, the president was welcomed by Gambians by chanting his name, waving and dancing as the convoy slows down for the president to wave back at the people with joy. His first stop was in Mansakonko at the RSQ Road Network headquarters, where he had a closed-door consultation with a few officials. Amongst them was engineers and the Minister for Transport Works and Infrastructure. From Mansakonko, President Barrow headed to assess roads along Kir Olisara, Jibi, Batirndal Jau, then to the Kawur Jimbala Road, which is 8.9 kilometers, and to the 38 kilometers Bambali, Sabasukuto, Njen Sanjal, Serakunda Road. Speaking to contractors, His Excellency said the work is not in the pace expected, especially the rainy season fast approaching. President Barrow emphasized the project is a 100% government-sponsored project and needs to be handled properly. He therefore encouraged CSC to push harder and put in quality work.
Culverts. To allow the water to go across. Yes. But for now, we are doing also a rock fill. Okay. They are excavating, putting boulders compacted so that it will not settle down. Yes. But as you said, yes, we'll build culverts across to make sure water can, during high tide, water could.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the culverts have been approved, and they have ordered the material, and coming next week, they will start the culverts. And they are going to attack all of the culverts in one go before the rains.
But so far, if you assess everything, how many percent have you done?
10%.
10%?
Yes.
That means you are far behind. Yes. You should have been far ahead of that.
Yes. According to their work program,
yes,
they are on track because they have revised their work program and they have engaged more resources in order to tackle it, because we are pressuring them to finish it. And according to them, this road and the other road, Section 5,
yes,
they should be finishing it 2 months ahead of schedule and then join the other team on the 19-kilometer road to finish it on time. Yeah.
Okay, but the rainy season is far approaching.
Yes.
What do you think against the rainy season?
Well, they have a plan.
How many percent do you think you can achieve before the rainy season?
Before the rainy season, we're looking about 25%. To be realistic, yes.
To be realistic.
Yes.
That is in 2 months.
In 2 months.
And there will be a break.
Yes. No, they are planning to walk through the rainy season because they are tackling areas that is going to be difficult during the rains, and then the other areas, while it is raining, they can still walk on it. Yes.
Especially culverts.
Yeah. Yes.
Especially culverts. Ground war when it's too wet.
too wet. So
we are just here to assess and see what is happening on the ground. Because these are projects that are sponsored by Gambia government. This is not by donors. It's 100% sponsored by Gambia government. And this is taxpayers' money. And we are very, very concerned about taxpayers' money. You know, and I think we wanted us to move faster than the speed. I'm not 100% satisfied with the achievement so far. But if I get back to the office, we will assess the situation and see how best we can engage the contractor with our technical team. We see whether you can increase your time schedule, you know, because we want the people to impact the life of the people. You know, we want the people to feel it, you know, and I think that is the main objective.
That we are fully aware.
And it's a new partnership also with CSC. CSC left this country and they came back. It's a new partnership, and this is the foundation. We want to build a very strong foundation moving forward. For Gambia government, our support is 100%. We will continue giving support to make sure that we fulfill all the agreements, no doubt about that. The Minister of Finance is ready for that. And our technical team are also willing to work around the clock so that we can move faster, so that we can impact the life of the people. These are very important roads, very important roads. They have been waiting for 50-something years, you know, so they have lost patience. They don't have enough patience anymore. Everybody wants us to do it quickly. I think that is the main objective. We are all thinking the same way. We are all in the same boat. We all want to cross. But how do we cross? We want to cross faster. We want to kill two birds with one stone. We work quick and quality, because quality is important. We want the road to be durable.
Let's assure that the quality is not going to be compromised, and we will push.
You are a Gambian.
Gambian, yes. Because
this is national duty. And national duty is everybody's responsibility. As sure as you are a Gambian. But
I will do whatever.
I'm happy that I'm here, but we will continue pushing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
In North Bank region, the president visited the 8.5-kilometer road in Kawur Jimbala, the 8.7-kilometer Chandu road, the 10-kilometer road of Jarin to Junobo road, the 19 kilometers road from Chameng to Nyami Bantang, and then to the famous Hakalan road in Nyomi. Speaking to reporters, President Barrow expressed a seemingly dissatisfied overall assessment on the pace at which the road constructions are going. However, he said the fact that the beneficiaries appreciate his efforts serves a motivation for him.
I think today was a long day. We started since around 9 o'clock, and I think now it's almost about 12 hours, but it worth it. We have many projects around the North Bank, that is the NBD and the CRR. These are big projects. If you combine the two projects, it's about 170 kilometers or more. And it is the first time in the history of this country that we have such a project that is funded by Gambia government 100%. So I say Gambia government, it is taxpayers' money. So that's why we value this. Since we launched the project started, they have been briefing me about the project. But I say, no, that is not enough. Let me go and see for myself. That's why I took today on Thursday to go around and see the contractors, see the work, assess, and know the state of the work. That's why I was there. Basically, in my assessment, I am satisfied, but not 100%. I think some of the projects, they are behind schedule. One of the projects, there's about 10%. And there's another project that is there about 17% and 20-something%. If you combine all, overall, about 20%. It's not very bad, but I wanted it to be more than that. But still we will discuss with my team and the contractors so that we push this. Because one thing that we observe, the people appreciated the projects. And it is impacting on the life of the people. So seeing that, I think that have given me energy, and it have given me encouragement, and that have made me very, very happy and pleased that this was a priority. These are priority projects.
According to him, his government have unprecedented projects in store, and if Gambians give him the chance to continue, he will put in development the country never experienced.
We are promising Gambians this will continue. If we are given another mandate, that is the 4th of December 2021, you will see other projects bigger than this. Unprecedented projects will come to Gambia.
Accordingly, he said his government do not only revive the country's economy but saved it.
When we started, it was a very difficult time. When we started in 2017, when I came in 2017, the entire budget was 1 month import cover. Today we have stabilized the economy. It is about 5 months import cover now. When we came, treasury bills were up to 23%. Today, it is less than 10%. When we came, debt to GDP was 120%. Today, it's about 77%. When we came, our collection was below $500 million we collect per month. Today, we are collecting more than $1 billion. This month, that is April 2021, we made record collection, 1.2 billion. That's what we collected. And if you look at the economy, how it was growing, it was between 1% to 2%. We got it to 6.5%. So basically, we have stabilized the economy.
However, the foundation stone for the road construction project was laid 7 months back by President Adama Barrow. The president had since then shown concern over the project. It appears this is one of his government's most cherished work. Fatou Kamara reporting for the Fatou Network News Review.
Fatou Kamara there, and now I am joined by our special guest on the show today, the Deputy Spokesperson of the APRC, Mr. Dudu Jah. Dudu, welcome to the Fatou Network once again.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here once again, and thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure having you on the show, but Dudu, what's happening in the Green camp? It seems to me there's some level of disarray in the party, you know, following allegations that some of the executive members of the party are going behind the scenes trying to mortgage the party, you know, to President Barrow and his National People's Party.
Not likely. There is no disarray and allegations. I can say since 2018, we've been facing such. If people can track back, it happens to help people from 2018, the Boyam Congress, a resolution was passed by the Congress delegate, part of which was to see to it that will engage government and other stakeholders who facilitated for his departure to Equatorial Guinea during the impasse, that a safe return of the former president to the Gambia, they should honor that agreement. And also part of which is assets, some which we believe were seized illegally, some were sold, not known to most Gambians, should be followed so that due process will follow in it. And the executive will also tasked to engage government about our seized vehicles. So coupled with all this, is a few APRC that are in the diaspora who feel dollars they send to the party, they are obliged to know everything or anything that the executive does. So
but shouldn't they be, as you know, staunch supporters and members of the political party?
There's no political party in this country, people about the meetings they had with the president and discuss some of the engagements that they do. What happens is Congress is the highest authority. Whenever we go into Congress, we give an activity report of what transpired in the past 2 years, our financial statements, you know, the plans we have. All this is made known to the delegates who are representatives of the people from all the constituencies, all regions and wards, who has to go back, you know, and liaise with their own people.
But wouldn't that make make, you know, people question the level of democracy in the party? Because if I am publicized on social media, but, you know, closed door, what do you think?
Yes, we have opened those channels. We tell them that our doors are numbers. They can contact us anytime. I face that all the time through WhatsApp calls in this country, especially me. When there are issues, people would say, I want to hear. When I wake up in the morning, I follow back the missed call. So that channel has been open since.
So, you know, the APRC and PP bromance have been in the grapevine for a very long, and is that you people are going behind our back and trying to have some sort of dialogue and negotiation with someone who we term as the enemy. We don't have a problem. What some of them are saying is that we don't have a problem with you. What we have a problem is you people going behind the back of our supreme leader, you know, without even having his blessings. What's your response to that?
When the negotiation started, he was in the picture. By then, there was no NPP. It started all the way in 2017, our record minds. So before the 2018 Congress, it was just a task that the delegates wanted to execute, but it started before the Congress resolution.
Negotiations, which brings me back to the Janneh Commission report, because as far as the APRC assets are concerned, there was no single recommendation mentioned in the Janneh. Make sure that it is reversed. Why are you negotiating? As a matter of fact, it should be the other way around. You should be suing the government instead of trying to, you know, negotiate, which I believe is the reason why you people are trying to, you know, have this bromance to make sure that you have your assets back and probably bring Jammeh back to the country.
It's not an issue of romance. Like I mentioned earlier, it started in 2017. The response we got was the Janneh Commission are going to look into the financial dealings and whatever transpired from 94, allow them to do their work. But when the report came out, no mention of our accounts of vehicles, like whatever is related to the APRC party was not captured, was not mentioned. That's when we rejuvenated the efforts that they were doing in engaging government. As an opposition party, for the first time in this country, it is our belief that when we were in government, we made mistakes. So we called on this government not to repeat the mistakes we made. We believe when we were in government, the opposition too made mistakes. We said we're not going to repeat the same mistakes that they made. We have no intentions in creating chaos in this country. And if you listen to audios to create violence, not to be very violent, we should be citizens that definitely would wish well for this country. And this we uphold. Perhaps how other oppositions operate or function, we're not following those footsteps. We love this country and we contributed immensely in making Gambia what it is, and we're jealously safeguarding that.
Few months to elections, and I think it's about time that every political party make their position very clear to the Gambian people and to their supporters. So what is the situation here? Going solo or coalition?
We're yet to groundwork, and a lot has to be done if you want to win over this country. And financially too, we're making efforts. We don't want to come in the open and tell people A and tomorrow it turns out to be B. We always want to keep our word or promises that we give, unless and until we weigh ourselves what we've established and how much financially strong we are before we're able to make any declaration to the general public. Looking into this month and the next month, we're going into voter registration. So we're trying to establish to know our base, how many within our militants have been registered. For us, it is key, it is very important. And we have a lot of work on the undecided voters, how we'll be able to convince them to vote for our party. But until then, we're not hesitant, we're not desperate to make any decisions about flag bearer or whether we're going to go solo or we're going to do alliance with other political parties.
And talking about election, we all know every political party boasts of a certain region as their particular stronghold. For the APRC, I believe one of your biggest stronghold is, you know, the Fonyis. If you read the papers today, you've seen that about 800 people from the different constituencies in Fonyi actually met with the leader of the United Democratic Party to show their allegiance to him and his party. What do you make of that?
It's politics. Everybody has a right to go into any region, constituency, ward, compound, or any household. This we have no control over. But to say Fonyi is our stronghold, Fonyi is not our stronghold. The people of Fonyi have shown loyalty to the APRC party. People would say, what is he talking about? People must know statistics. Fonyi has less than 35,000 votes. If that is our stronghold, then how much 1,000 votes or more? We will rather go to all Yundu, make it our stronghold, than rely on strongholds. I believe it should be done with statistics. But for us, our stronghold is in all the regions and the local government elections, even for the mayoral and a lot of areas that we contested. We saw even our NAMs or our councillors, they end up, finishing second on top of those who swept the poll. So which shows we have strong base support in all the regions.
And still on Fonyi, as the TRRC continue to look into past human rights violations, we've seen on the papers that one of these past days they have actually visited Fonyi looking for, mass graves and whatnot. What do you think about that?
Well, there are a lot of our party members, supporters, sympathizers who are very much annoyed by that. But we'll have to set the record straight. The TRRC did not set up themselves. They're suspect up for an investigation and the like. But on the same vein, I think we expect that they should be report what is factual, not to base on the allegations people are giving and you want to use that or to declare it as evidence. We believe there are no mass graves. We believe most of these allegations are untrue. And this is not the first time. A forensic squad went to Kanilai. They believe in those wells people were murdered and thrown into. But with all the digging research that they did with the findings, they came out with nothing. So we're very confident that there are no mass graves.
And we all know that the TRRC will be wrapping up their work very soon. And we all know what that means. It means every Gambian will be looking forward to the recommendations of the commission. What do you expect to come out of the TRRC?
As far as APRC is concerned, with our Supreme Party leader, we're not expecting anything positive from our side. Or I would say we're not expecting any good report that would come based on our side. We're not taking back the list. We believe we're not newcomers in politics. We believe it's a struggle and these hurdles will overcome it. We'll come through it no matter what recommendations they put forward. We're not the least scared about it. We're Gambians. We have every right, to showcase and show our citizenship and fight up to the last breath of every member of the APRC that justice and fair play will prevail at the end.
So if you are to sit on the table with President Barrow and to strike a deal, what are some of the things that you will, put forward to him as part of the agreement? It
has nothing to do with the TRRC. Like I said, the negotiation started since 2017 when there was no TRRC. And it's the same thing we are living up to. That is our Congress resolutions, the responsibility they give to advise him what we believe would be the right thing for him to do. But we cannot insinuate or we cannot put any pressure on the president. He has his powers and he knows what the law says. He has the people around him who are helping him to do his work. It's not for the APRC to dictate or to push him to any corner.
And it's officially election season. We only have a couple of months to head to the polls. And a lot of people, Gambians in the diaspora, had actually, showed concern, saying that this government has no political will, to make diaspora voting a reality. And word on the street is that even APRC is not in support of this diaspora voting thing. What is your response to that? Are you scared that you don't have a base in the diaspora or what? Because a lot of people think that the political party with the biggest representation in the diaspora is actually the United Democratic Party.
Well, perhaps people are entitled to their opinion and predictions. I am fortunate to be part of the inter-party committee. I'm sitting on media and people who attend workshops could attest to that. I am somebody who has definitely championed diaspora voting. To the extent within the IPC, the Inter-Party Committee, there's no single registered political party in this country that has objected to diaspora voting. We've supported it. We even went to the extent and said if it will be possible, we don't mind them using ballot paper and us, we stick with the marble until a time that we can move into a change. So we have no fears. That's what people think. People in the diaspora, nobody owns them. Tomorrow you could say, I am not with APRC. Then today you can change. Next tomorrow you can change your mind again. It's the dynamics of politics must be understood. Nobody owns anybody. It's based on your programs and policies and what do you have for the people. That's what membership they change. People are free to do whatever it takes. But left to us alone, we're not objecting to diaspora voting.
So generally, why do you think is the reason for the hold-up?
I would say logistics and finance has to play a part. And logistics, in a sense, they were expecting that the draft constitution would pass. So in such a that. And the election bill also contributed, because based on the draft constitution, it also delayed the changes or the amendments with the election bill. You cannot just say the diaspora can vote. First, is the diaspora a region? If not, it has to be. The laws must capture how and the diaspora, the Gambians in the diaspora. It's key. Not only they have documents. What type of documents? We know that most of them have surrendered their documents. Some have naturalized and given up their Gambian citizenship. So the IEC should be able to engage them and have a data. Example, in Angola, how many Gambians are residing in Angola? You cannot have 5 Gambians in Angola and you spend millions to conduct and put them together and label it as what constituency. In as much as we want them to vote, it must be backed by law, and we must do the right thing. So they would have to bear with what the law says, and I believe the opportunities would come.
And now, Dudu, for a very important and relevant topic that is on the tongue of every Gambian is about the security situation in our country. What do you make of it?
Definitely it's very disheartening, and it have created an atmosphere of fear in all communities, I would say, especially the urban areas here. Hardly few days would go by if you don't hear of a burglary. You'll hear somebody being stabbed or somebody being killed or a thief has been captured. And of recent, people have joined into mob justice, which shows that they don't have trust in the security. If their lives are at stake or endangered, why should somebody who definitely tends or intends to create harm to them, why should they hand them over to the security? So definitely government need to step up, but the president is not security conscious. He has never served in the police or the military, etc. But he has hired people in key positions to help him handle the security. I would put blames on them. I feel they are not doing their jobs as expected, and as such, the president need to step up. You either deliver or somebody else has to do the job. We cannot continue to live our lives like this. Definitely, it's deteriorating, getting worse. Of recent, we've seen the police have taken up responsibilities, being in the streets, in the checkpoint, but that's not enough. People don't come on the highway and create crimes. They're into the remote areas, into corners that are dark, where people are sleeping. So patrols will be encouraged with motorbikes or with vehicles not to go in pairs, but in their numbers, their presence must be felt. And I believe it cannot definitely be executed at its peak in the absence of the military. We all know how they have contributed and what they can do. People will tell you, okay, the Constitution has highlighted the role of the military, is to protect us from external attack forces and the like. But the Constitution is no Bible or Quran. And running a government at times would require tactics and a technical know-how in implementing whatever you want. So if the need be that the military has to intervene in order to curb or handle these issues, the issue of insecurity, they have to. It's happening in other countries. In Senegal, we saw it when things went out of hand. We even saw it in America when they tried to storm the White House, etc. They sought help from the military so that it will help to normalize issues. So why not the Gambia, especially when it has been happening? And there are incidents, if we recall correctly, when that Dabo was killed and the people went on a riot to the extent anti-crime unit was attacked. It was the soldiers that came and normalized the situation. It also happened at Busumbala when people took it to their hands, ignored the police, the paramilitary, nothing they could do. For 3 days, they manned checkpoints and harassed a lot of people. It was the military that came in and normalized the situation. So history speaks for itself that they've been doing it and they can still do it.
And now, finally, a lot of people have been saying that all of these things happening and the president's silence was definitely deafening because he wasn't saying a word. And finally today, as we can see on every platform, the president will be making a statement at 8 p.m. Gambian time. What do you think? Some said this was long overdue. When a nation cries, you have to come out to talk to them.
I quite agree with the people who have that belief. It is my belief as well. That wall of keeping silent, he has to break that wall. Being a leader in a country, you must speak to the people anytime issues happen. Even if nothing happens, but it's your duty to come out and give a very motivating statement that will encourage people, to move in a direction where you want to see them. But especially when atrocities are being committed, and the president, it's like he has no problem, he's quiet. That is definitely very disheartening, and we welcome that he's going to address it, and we're challenging him to make it a continuous issue of addressing the nation.
What key areas are you expecting him to touch on today?
I believe the issue of murder, it's key. A lot of people are losing their lives. Some have lost their lives. And most cases were promised investigations, but the outcome of it, most of it is not forthcoming. What is keeping it? I think firm stance need to be taken to make sure the authorities also in charge, must be pushed harder so that they will deliver what is expected from them for people who are expecting justice. Insecurity, no country can attain development in the absence of security. So the president should definitely make it his #1 priority.
Thank you very much. APRC's deputy spokesperson, Dudija, what do you have to say to the APRC supporters out there?
It's always a pleasure to be here on the show. Message I have where heading into voter registration is very key as Gambians. Like the saying goes, your vote is your voice, and every Gambian need to have a voice. If you don't have a voter's card, you cannot be heard. What you want with all these complaints and crying, that card could make a difference. So let's go for it. But not to forget, let's abide by what the law says, who is a Gambian, who is qualified to have. We should stick to that, not try to manipulate.
Activist Killer Ace have now thrown his hat in the business scene, hoping to employ young Gambians. Our Mudi Wangom has more.
Challenged the previous regime, using his platform and influence as a musician to put across a message that many Gambians, both in and outside the Gambia, were simply too afraid to be expressive about, fearing unlawful or baseless arrests, long detentions, exile, and in worst-case scenarios, even death. Ali Cham, also known as Killer Ace, was forced into exile back in 2015 following complications with the former regime. He was simply too outspoken for their liking. However, it was after an outpour of how he felt about Jammeh's rule and brutal dictatorship in a song that he had to be forced to leave the country.
Imam, do artist, do journalist, man, we can't really speak what's on our mind. No mind, all of a sudden it's a crime. Don't know about the injustices going on. All the police brutality, which is so wrong. Can't talk about the corruption, I swear the flow goes on. Oh, it's so wrong. Kasi getagi nan si meomi kubo kasi tekabi war ngay ambat si rew mi kubo kasi getagi nan si meomi kubo kasi tekabi war ngay ambat si rew mi.
Fast forward to 6 years later, after several known and unknown challenges, Killer Ace has finally launched his very first mobile electronics shop. With mass unemployment being identified as the root of several problems faced by Gambians, especially the youth, Ace is contributing his quota by creating employment opportunities and having young, thriving Gambians on board.
Alhamdulillah, ganaw bun sante yala kom ibinen ko, mga start nen ko si Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As the saying goes, nothing comes easy. Dore nen kon danka where come with the support ak ñoo xamne comme true believers len ak sun client yi ñu ngi ñoo bena so home nañ ne in the future yeb dina gëna dem ci kanam inshallah waye santa yalla ñu gisé mu ngi démé mom alhamdulillah.
Ace mom I guess that Ace is nek na ko xamantene comme when it comes to Gambian artists like he is way different lol I guess ñu ñep xam nañ ko. Because mom atam bi comme art bi comme like jobu mo def terewul ko pour mu push harder on whatsoever other things nga xamantene comme lolu la mo def tamit adeno xam nga because gis nañ ko like deug la legi la ubi sob bi waye comme nit bo xamantene nit bu am jom la te bokana ci luta comme like ñun ñep ñu respect ko bokana ci luta ñep ñu gën ko value xam nga di role la mom because nek na ko xamantene su ko neewon li yeb diko def xam nga lu la wané xam nga because ñu ko xam personally xam nañ from the background that he came from and all that waaye pour moom loolu it doesn't matter to him pour moom dafa am pour def defam xam nga comme push himself, develop him to the next level, like, which I admire in him very, 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 very much. I'm not Yoko because it's not going to come. Yeah, you might say need no words of encouragement. Why in some other part time because he knows what he does. He knows what he's supposed to do. And he knows what he wants to be at the end of the day.
A father, a rapper, a human rights activist, and now a businessman, Ace had a few things to say to the Fatu Network, and some of it included.
To be honest, everything throughout my life or career independently has been supported through this business or these kind of businesses. I remember before going into exile back in 2015, I was at Serakunda Market selling phones, the rubber like they call it. And I was doing very well for myself at that time, selling wholesale on a small scale level, until, things, went sour. But nonetheless, I believe that you always gotta have revenue streams as an individual, because there's so much one has to do in life, you feel what I'm saying, so much responsibilities. And as part of trying to stay independent as a young person who don't want to be asking or for help or none of that, I felt like let me just engage in something, despite even me being a rapper and an artist. But I have a passion for electronics and gadgets and phones. Even personally, I have a special passion for it, and plus I just feel like this is an area where I have experience for almost a decade. I've been into it, even though it's been small scale, and I felt like I might as well just focus and continue something that I've already started. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, some media institutions in the country have labeled you, and I quote, stubborn, controversial, but very hardworking. What's your response to this?
Yeah, I mean, to me, what's on Gambia are a bunch of suckers, to be honest, because I feel like as much as they posted my stuff, I just feel like as a young Gambian doing my thing and seeing the level of biasness from their side, I don't think that's even a good marketing or promotional strategy. Why would you just want to use the negative at the beginning to promote something positive? You feel what I'm saying? I felt all of that was not necessary, that stubborn, blah, blah, blah. I am me. They see more stubborn things in society, coming from people close to them that they don't mention. So, and I feel like over the years, I've even been sidelined by them. They don't support none of what I do. They don't push my stuff, And they got their own selective people that they do on the flip side, who I know I work harder than most of. So for me, it's a two-headed coin. But I just feel like at the end of the day, what we're doing, we deserve to be empowered by the media, who has a leverage over the situation. And overall, to me, they're just a bunch of suckers, y'all.
Now, but they did call you hardworking, though. Like you said, it was anyway.
All of the above, I already know who I am, and I just believe if they really wanted to promote my business, they would have did what you did or what you guys did and came up on a positive tip and put away anything personal and disassociated from a particular business, because at the end of the day, all of the above, I'm not stubborn, I am me, I'm the nicest guy out here. I can crack more jokes than the admin of the pages, you know what I'm saying? So I'm the coolest dude out here, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the stigma and the negative propaganda that makes the audience feel like I'm that stubborn guy, which has an after effect on me as an artist, as a businessman, etc., because who's going to want to buy from a stubborn person? Think about it, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, to me, it's but it is what it is, though.
Now, for someone watching with intentions of maybe assisting you and supporting the business and with no idea how to go about it, what would you say to them?
Well, at the end of the day, we're here. This is the headquarters now. This is the office. Everybody's welcome for us to all make money. We kindly accept and welcome any generous any kind of support, that has no strings attached to it at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, everybody's welcome. Let's all make money. As a business, everybody get their cut, everybody eat, and the economy moves. So all doors are open. Y'all can holler, y'all can check out Fatu Network, holler at you. You can be my assistant agent on that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, everybody's highly welcome for us to take it to flight mode.
Now, and finally, to the 3 to 4 year old little boy watching us right now and being like, yeah, what would you say?
Yeah, I just want to tell them to just believe in themselves, even though, I just want to relate this to the scenario. I have all of my peoples in America. My mother is there, my father is there, Nyuma Bokal, Ndayak Bay, everybody's there. I'm the only one here. And I don't call nobody for nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So I want them to understand that you got to believe in yourself and try to be independent. You feel what I'm saying? As a Dombu Guru, because you got to provide for the table. You got to get a wife. You got to make sure that mama's good. You got to make sure that there's cash power. And that's the responsibility of you, Dombi. You know what I'm saying? And as much and as how hard the situation is, you know, that's why we call it flight mode, because we take it from 0 to 1 to 2 to 100, despite the negativity, the frustrations, the downsides of the environment, and all of the discouragement, still manage to make it happen. So let them not put away the ego and work, and I believe they will be bigger than me, because I'm just starting, and I believe that I can do bigger, and alhamdulillah. So advice to the kids,
Reporting for the Fatu Network's News Review, I am Mudiwangam.
TAF Africa Global presents the new Tulip Gardens. TAF Tulip Gardens is set to comprise service plots in sizes ranging from 220 to 570 meters square. Deposit as low as $83,600 is only an 18-month interest-free payment plan with only 20% deposit on the service plots. Please contact 376-2333 or 776-2333. Tough.
Welcome back. That's it for today's show. Do join us tomorrow if you can. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.